Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Tim Wikstrom. Tim Wikstrom is the president and co-founder of Presentr, a technology company dedicated to helping people communicate more effectively. His passion for communication has spanned 2 decades, and he has been an executive coach and trainer for most of that time. Tim has founded several companies focused on coaching and communication, including Breakout Communications that he launched in 2006. Tim is a seasoned expert facilitator, trainer, executive coach, and delights individuals and teams across many industries. Well, good afternoon, Tim. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Absolutely. This is exciting. Done quite a slew of podcasts today, but this is probably the favorite part of my day is getting to talk to someone new, sharing your background, your feedback, your insights, information with a global audience that I have. So thank you. You've got quite the background in consulting, speaking. You're currently the co-founder of your current company. Could you share with our audience what drives you and what has contributed to your success?
I get this question quite a bit, so I'm really glad you asked it because I think it's really key to why I do what I do, and we all have our story. Why are we doing what we're doing? For me, my drive every day comes from my own experience of being in a situation where I just simply didn't feel very confident about how I was communicating. I had graduated college, landed a great job, and as I started to elevate through that job, was getting the feedback, I just wasn't able to communicate very well. And it was interesting because for me, it was communicating up, right? Senior management, my peers, team, very comfortable with that. When it got to a point that I just simply couldn't do it face to face, I would strategically have to call in to share my portion of the meeting because I was so overwhelmed. It's something that really was a game changer for me. And I ended up leaving my job because of it. I think the world sends us signals. A couple of years later, I was invited to be a part of a program that teaches people how to be better communicators. And I thought, if I could do this for myself, then at the very least, I'll have accomplished that. I don't know that I could teach anybody else to do it. And literally, it was like lightning striking me in that I didn't recognize I had so much control over these things that helped people perceive me differently. Once I found that out, it was a life-altering experience. I immediately shifted everything I was doing in my life and changed my career to help other people find that confidence that I experienced. I simply didn't think it was possible. And once I figured out how you do that, training it to others became my next challenge. So my drive every day is to think about everybody else. And I know there are millions of people that have similar stories, similar experiences. Help them understand you don't have to suffer this way either. And having the benefit of others support me around that and teach me how to do it is what really drove me and contributed to my success. I was surrounded by really supportive individuals that reinforced the things that I didn't know existed and taught me how to do them. So that's been my drive every day, is reaching every single person I possibly can to show them you don't have to feel that way. You can feel good about yourself and what you're sharing.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's really important. And your story is certainly unique. And I think it will absolutely resonate with the people out there, especially the technologists in my audience. So thank you, Tim. As you know, Tim, everybody globally has had to make major shifts to adapt to this new normal during the pandemic. I know you and I were just talking about it, but could you share with us what you're doing to help your organization stay relevant in this economy?
That's such an important and huge topic, right? We hear it all the day. We see it in the news, people having Zoom fatigue. They're challenged with not being able to meet in person the way they were used to. Life's just changed so dramatically. And this new normal term is even changing. There is no new normal. It's just normal now. And will it ever go back? We don't know. What I do know is that in these unfortunate times and circumstances that we're under, that's where the fruit of evolution, of opportunity and innovation comes from. We just happen to be perfectly aligned with these circumstances in that our software, Presentr, helps people in a remote environment be able to access our platform and get the type of coaching they would get from somebody they would rely on traditionally giving them in person. So the pandemic, while it is sad and it's had so many negative impacts, true innovation is, I think, coming from that, how we work differently. And for Presenter, we've been able to launch our platform that allows anybody anywhere to have access to the same type of training they would expect from a coach. And that's pretty important. And we're finding that from our customers who are just coming out of the fog of the impact of COVID to their business and realizing there's still a need. I still need to make my people feel as though we're supporting them and give them tools to help them feel more confident in this new normal. And being able to speak in a virtual environment is different than a live environment. And Presenter's well suited for that. So for us, it's been a fortunate business aspect that we balance out with the realities of what's happening in the world.
Thank you for sharing. I think that is
Sure.
important. And I'm glad you were able to pivot during this time and probably advance your innovation at least maybe even as much as 3 years based on what the
Truly.
challenges were you were given. So great. Tim, are you leveraging any of the new or emerging technologies out there, especially around your app for speaking?
Technology, it's the critical element of the platform. And that's really what's allowed us to build our software to this stage, is seeing technology advance. At this time, because of COVID specifically, you start to see all of these new platforms and technologies evolving, pivoting just as we did to really push this web-based platform out there. So yes, we are looking at innovative technologies that allow us to capture the nuances of individuals, to really personalize the experience, to help dig deeper into what makes a person react the way they do, and how can we help guide them in a direction to overcome that. So being positioned to do more data assessment and analysis, machine learning to drive that unique experience is absolutely on the forefront of our mind and what we dig into these days.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And at some point, we'll definitely have you back on the podcast and we'll dive more into the technology and your tech stack as you had previously
I'd love to
talked.
do that.
Absolutely. Tim, last question. This is the most important, of course. Our audience wants to know more about Tim. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in leadership or entrepreneurship?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? I've learned so many things over the last 20 years. I would say the last 7 years of starting Presentr and building to this place today, I could talk about countless things that I have learned. If I hone it in on really two things that I think have been the most meaningful to me as an entrepreneur and launching a startup, I think it's important to know I'm not a technical founder. I come from the business side of the equation. That led into its own challenges in starting a software company. What I learned and admittedly failed many times is that you need to surround yourself with the right people. Do not think that you should have to do everything or be the subject matter expert on everything. We underestimate the value, I think, of our network and the people that we know and don't know. They are pathways to more information. It's the ripple effect. If you hear something from someone unexpectedly, it has an impact. Even if it seems insignificant at the time, somewhere along the line, it's impacted your journey. So reach out, talk to more people, ask more questions, ask for help. That is primarily one of the key things that I've learned about this, is that it's not being asked of you to do it all yourself. It's how do you help get the right people around you to help you do this, to help you accomplish your goal. It truly does take a village. And the second thing that I think is really important is, and I struggle with this personally, I'm a perfectionist. I don't like to fail at anything, and recognizing that there is a difference between failure and defeat. Defeat is giving up and not getting back up, even in the worst days. And there are days when you feel like just throwing in the towel and you're not sure what you have left to give, but you find some way to still give and you still show up and you do it the best that you can. Failure is making a decision, doing something, and if it didn't work out, learn from it and do it differently. So fail more often, but don't accept defeat. Don't give up. There is always a pathway forward.
Amazing. That's some great insight. And I know a lot of people are going to take that to heart. So thank you again, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Tim, certainly a pleasure having you. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Great. Thank you so much. I'll talk again soon.
Bye for now.